So welcome everybody to LinkedIn Hump Day Hangouts. We have two goals: to learn how to use LinkedIn and to have fun going out there and doing it. We have one big rule: don't be a troll. Okay, cool. So today we are going to talk a little bit about account-based marketing. I definitely want to give some time to doing some workshops here. And just in case, I mean, you guys here, you gals here, you're familiar with account-based marketing, ABM. But just for those who aren't, so if you're doing account-based marketing, it's kind of a hot topic right now. You're more focusing on a smaller set of accounts. And another way to say account really is companies. You're focusing on a smaller quantity, but you're looking more at what the whole company is doing. You're focusing on a lot of different areas of that company. It's like you're stalking them from many different angles. So you want to know when they visit their website. You want to talk to everybody in the company. You want to know when they're mentioned in the news. You want to be able to like be everywhere and have your team be everywhere for that account. And it takes a little bit of resources. So it's a little bit different strategy. You're probably going to be selling a different product because of the time investment in there. If you're doing ABM as opposed to, you're just going through a list that has 50,000 people and you can't just sell to anybody. So it's usually going to be, if you're doing ABM, you're usually going to be selling something that's more expensive. And yeah. You guys have any thoughts on ABM, just as far as, you guys want to chime in at all on that?
I'd have noticed LinkedIn actually providing a bit more information about ABM. And,
Yeah.
I think that's solving the puzzle from another perspective, which is really cool. So instead of just like looking at people, it's like, okay, let's look at companies and then hone in. And I think that the results are really interesting when you look at it from a different perspective.
Yeah, I agree. There has been a lot of dev features released on LinkedIn for ABM, and it's not an accident. LinkedIn's largely B2B, and they know that a lot of people that use LinkedIn that are B2B should be doing ABM. It's just healthy. A, a quick thought. So when you're doing like lead gen on LinkedIn, especially if it's like when you're doing a sale, even though it might be B2B, there's always that who do you talk to connection. And so even though we're saying ABM, and you're talking about a company and stuff, a lot of the actual hands-on interaction with the company is between yourself and another individual. And so you start broad at the account level, and then you're going to narrow in on individuals, and you're going to try and be as efficient as you can with one-on-one interaction that's meaningful and brings value with the right individuals at those accounts at the right time, the right message and offer, that kind of thing. So just even though we're talking about ABM, it really translates downstream to one-on-one interaction, right?
Amen.
All right. Okay, so let's kind of jump in. My goal today, since ABM is a really huge topic, like super huge, and there are books on it and classes on it, I kind of just want everyone here to leave saying, hey, if ABM's for me, I feel like I can use LinkedIn to create my own unique strategy. That's kind of my goal for talking about ABM here today. For paid ads, that's not really my wheelhouse. AJ Wilcox, he's your paid ads guy probably, and he's got a lot of fun content out there. So if you want to discuss ABM for paid on LinkedIn, I'd creep on AJ's material. And then since most people don't have sales nav teams, I'll probably steer clear of all the stuff that you can do within teams with like sharing and that kind of thing, just since that's going to be a lot smaller group. Okay, cool. So let's do this. I'm going to share my screen.
Look at you, all-star. You're an expert. Wow.
Well, it doesn't take much to get that. So it makes me feel good about myself. Okay, so this is where you'd really start, right? Search for accounts. And I'm just going to go like this so you can kind of see. So account, there's lead search. This is individual. There's account results, which is you're searching for accounts. If you are on like a free or premium and you search for companies, there's just nothing there. So if you want to do ABM and be, actually successful at it, you're probably just going to need to do sales nav. Did you see it switch back and forth there?
Yep.
Did it switch tabs? Okay, cool. Making sure. So if you want to do ABM on LinkedIn, you're kind of just going to need to use Sales Nav, and you could use Pro. This is the cheapest version of Sales Nav. So if you go to account results, Judy, do you want to workshop what you were talking about earlier? So, you know what? Hey, actually, let me just say one thing here really quick. If you're gonna do ABM, it's kind of like I see two branches that or two roads people usually go down if they're gonna do ABM. One is they go, oh man, I can't get the list that I want just in here. It's like here you're searching for people and the data that's associated with their personal profile, but sometimes there are criteria within the companies that you want to work with that you can't get from this search. And so what might happen is you might say, I want a better list. And so you can kind of hone it down here, save the right accounts, go to lead results, and then search within your saved accounts. Okay. So that's one branch where I see people using ABM on LinkedIn here is they do the account search first to get the accounts, and then they kind of just bust through this list here after they're searching within it. When people do that, it seems like there's a lot of people that they want to talk to, but there's like a specific job title in here. So maybe you only want to talk to like the CTO. So you might save a lot of accounts where there's a CTO, and then be really specific in the lead individual, and then just go through all the CTOs. The other branch that I see people go down with ABM is they have a lot smaller quantity of accounts that they want to target. And even though they're targeting smaller quantity of accounts, they're focusing on a more broad amount of people within the smaller quantity of accounts. So instead of maybe just talking to CTOs, they go, you know what, I'm going to start at the bottom of the totem pole in the org chart, work my way up, and know everybody in the company. So they might be working with a smaller quantity of accounts, but touching base with a lot more people within those accounts. So those are the two kind of broad strategies that I see people doing on LinkedIn. Do you guys you have anything to add on that at all before we do a workshop?
I have a wish.
What's your wish?
That we could search within a saved list.
You know what? I think that you can, but not yet, because I have one account. It's not on my account, where you can search within a saved list, an account list.
Which would be so cool.
It is so cool. It is so cool. And you can even choose the exclusion. Here, I'm going to really quick, just on that topic, I'm going to switch the screen that I'm sharing because I prepped.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean.
No, it's great. I was planning on bringing this up. So I took a screenshot this morning so that you could kind of see what I was talking about. It's kind of small. You see that?
Yes.
So you can, this is a screenshot from an account that has this feature. I'm not seeing it like anywhere else. So I think that they're rolling it out. I'd be surprised if they didn't give it to everybody. This is on a Sales Nav Pro, again, cheapest version of Sales Nav. So I don't think you need Team Edition or anything.
The entry level Sales Nav.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're seeing this, wow, that's really sweet.
Yes, I saw this and I had like I'd be embarrassed. I was so excited. So you can search if this is on the left sidebar of the individual lead search. And so what I'm doing in this screenshot, and you can do it a few different ways here, is I'm using this to create like a do not contact list. Yep. So I have a lot of saved accounts, but I want to exclude clients, right? And I want to exclude everybody that's converted to sales funnels, so I don't look like an idiot accidentally pitching to people over and over and over, right? So that's what this is for. This is excluded. And this works just like the normal exclusion. So you can turn this from exclude to include. So if you have a list, Judy, and you get this feature, you can just select the account list or the individual list and then search within that saved list. And that's so helpful. So helpful. So hopefully that rolls out to everybody soon.
See if I have that.
I know I'm not kidding. I check every day. All right, let's hop back on here to Sales Nav search. Okay, cool. Account results. So here, let's do this. So Judy, we'll do one for you, and then Gabby, if you want to, we can do a little workshop for you. Gabby, do you have Sales Nav or just free premium?
I do not have Sales Nav.
Okay, cool. So what you might want to do is you might want to do a trial if you want to mess with this and just see if this can do what you want it to do. If you do the Sales Nav trial, just make sure that if you, people get surprised when they do the trial because they don't see that there's two payment options once the trial ends, annual, monthly, and annual is the auto select. And then sometimes the month goes by and they get their card gets charged like $700 and they go, what was that? So just be aware if you do the trial.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I've had a few people be like, oh my gosh. All right. So account results. Let's do this. Geo. So you said the greater New York, exclude New Jersey, right?
Yes, please.
So we'll do the greater New York. Abby, if this might be helpful for you, if you want to do like KC but exclude, like Belton or something. So greater New York, and let's do New Jersey. We'll go like that, and then we'll just exclude Jersey. Boom, 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 boom.
Bye.
Goodbye. What's the matter with Jersey? Okay, let's see. Is there? Give me a refresher, Judy. Where do we go from here?
It could be any industry. We're
Like
looking
chamber?
associations, chambers or association. So not necessarily chamber music. I'd probably put chamber of commerce in.
So let's do Boolean and go Chamber of Commerce, and then we'll do a not music just for fun.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't like that. Chamber of Commerce. What? Am I spelling something wrong?
Weird.
Oh, could do that.
Okay, so they're all coming up. Isn't that interesting that it doesn't require the Boolean?
It is. I've not actually seen that happen before. Let me make sure I wasn't just using a wrong quote there. No. Might be a bug actually, because I use that all the time.
Wow. Okay.
So there's Chamber of Commerce. So maybe this would be a good place to start, right?
Yeah, these are all good. Yeah. Let's take out Connecticut. I want to focus it on New York. All right, so take out Connecticut. I don't know what else is in the greater New York City area. So just put in Connecticut because it looks like it's bringing up some.
Yeah, Pennsylvania I think is as well.
Pennsylvania. Okay.
Delaware, maybe.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
Okay. Who knows? Okay. All right. So that looks good. This looks like an interesting list. Still a decent amount. Yep. These look like local. Good. Okay. So that's good. And that's one aspect. Now, what about associations? So any industry that has a trade association, industry association. So would we then save this to a list, or how would you process that?
So really quick for the association, give me a little more on that. Like, would it be?
Could be association of movie writers, association of business to business trade association. A movie was a bad. That was a bad.
Okay.
But you can see like International Cinema Technology Association. I'm looking at, let's say, industries, professional service industries. Okay, let's narrow it down to that. Professional service industry trade association. So it could be lawyers, accountants, recruiters. So it's the trade associations they belong to. Like I belong to American Marketing Association. I belong to National Association of Women Business Owners. So, okay.
These
so
guys here.
Okay. Yeah, this is looking good. Okay. Yep. Yeah, this is a good start. Yep. Okay.
So you'd want to whittle it down and get it as focused as possible.
All right.
And then I would go like this. You can do a couple things. Let's see here. So you can go save the list. If you don't want to use a list, if you just want it to be saved, you can just click My Saved Accounts, or you can create a list. You can do it either way.
Okay.
So let's do like legal associations, New York, right? Look at that. I'm getting lazy with my grammar. Okay.
Sticky fingers.
All right, cool. So step one, right? Uh, you wouldn't, okay, so just as a kind of commentary, with this kind of thing, you wouldn't necessarily be able to get this list of accounts uh, if you're doing the lead search, right? Because you're looking for info that's within the company description.
Okay, so that's what keywords is tagging. Okay, got
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And also to keep in mind, Gabby, if you didn't know this, there's two different places where industry is recorded. One is on a LinkedIn member's personal profile. The other is on a company page. So if you were doing a search in leads and you chose industry, then what would happen is you're going to be like, why is this person in the legal industry? He's a bus driver, you know. It's like,
Yeah.
or, or whatever. And so people get different jobs and they forget to update their industry. They'll choose the wrong one. They'll confuse their role for the industry that their company is in. So it can be unreliable, which is a pain. And what tends to happen is a company changes less, you know. And so if you're needing to do a search within an industry as well, that becomes very helpful to then search within whatever you've saved, because it's going to be more likely that's relevant. A really quick point here. I had a talk with my team about this earlier this week. If you are saving a group of accounts and then you're searching within the saved, you still have to be, it's going to be way more of a laser focused list, but you still need to be mindful of a lot of times people will have multiple jobs open, like multiple titles open right now, and they might do that on purpose or accident. So you still need to like look at the person and make sure that it's if you don't just grab the top company name. It might be the second or third one down. Does that make sense?
That's a good point, because sometimes
Yeah.
people, if they're on a board of directors or some other stuff, or they have,
That's exactly actually, Judy, the context was board of directors. Because it's, you want to talk to board of directors and they always have a lot of different things going on, and then I'm like, hey, you can't just grab the top company name. You need to do due diligence here. So yeah, that's definitely something to be mindful of.
good point, good point.
So, Isaac, are you saying that you should not start with an industry filter?
I For the leads or for the
Yes.
account? I will get there
Okay.
because we're gonna get to individuals in just a second. So I would say, Gabby, um, I would say it's going to be a better list if you start by industry at the account level.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not bad to do industry in lead, but it's going to be better if you start with account industry. But there's some times where you can't do industry, right? Like not every industry is here. This is just a short list based off of what we have. There's more than just, you know, these guys. There's all kinds of industries. But sometimes the list that you're, or the industry that you're looking for isn't available. And in that case, it might be better for you to go to lead and then include in the company name, if there's I'm just thinking off the top of my head, like roofing or landscaping, those probably aren't your target markets, but a lot of times those companies have roofing and landscaping or whatever in the company name. You can require that phrase is in the company name and kind of get around the industry limitations. Okay. So let's say for Judy here, association lawyers, you could save these to a list or just save them to general. And then what you would do is, did
Before
I create a list?
I'm
What's that?
curious, where it says view current employees, what does that mean? I haven't seen that before. It's up there in the nav.
Mm.
It says save to list, tag, and then view current employees.
Oh yeah, that's going to be all of these employees here.
Would you be
Oh,
able to
sorry. Yeah,
further?
let's do that.
Yeah, that brings you right to leads. Okay, so oh wow, look at that.
So what happened when I clicked that, Judy, is you see how it's included here?
Yeah.
It's the max I think is 25. And so what I think they did there is they took the page that I was on,
Okay.
added them to included, and then showed me current employees.
So conversely, if you were to do it the other way you were going to show, so this is interesting that it shows it right from that list.
Hmm.
So it only picked 25 out of the 63.
Right. I took the first page here and just added them all. What I would do is it depends on. Remember how I was saying there's two branches where
Right.
you might save a lot of accounts and then go through a lot of people at those like a lot of similar people at those many accounts. If you're going to have a smaller quantity, I find myself doing this where since you're focusing on a smaller quantity, lots of people at the company, I would go to view all employees, not up top,
Mhm.
because I want to have content and material that's all tailored for this one big company. So if I was maybe trying to get into like Johnson and Johnson, or like Gabby here in town, Cerner, right? Cerner's going to have a lot of employees, so I would go to view all employees, and here we go,
Mhm.
and then I could kind of like go through there, and this is where this, yeah, you could go that route. I find it better to look for individuals at a company, like this here. Let's go.
For leads.
So I might go to company Cerner, and then I would just search for leads within there in that kind of scenario, because if you just have more to work with, right? Because you can't in the account level, you can't like even if you do view employees, you can't search with there's just not much going on, you know. Oh, actually, nope, sorry, I was wrong. That's the same. This is just normal search parameters.
So yeah, it's basically the lead view. So okay, so go
Yep.
back to your original thing there where we got the 63 companies.
Hmm.
So would we then go to lead results?
So what I would do is if you have saved them,
Okay.
then I would go like this. I would say, oh, let's see here. This is, oh, for the sake of demo, I really wish that my account had the include in that list. So
Mhm.
if you do that, it's going to pull all the stuff from account over. You may or may not like that. And then see, did you see this? This is new too. Also try.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to give us. Interesting. So that's the
Yes.
artificial intelligence trying to help you. So then
So then
you would,
when you have, so you have your accounts, and then I would do this. I would go search within saved accounts.
okay.
And
Okay.
then you might go, okay, I want to talk to whatever relationship, um, whatever the job title is. That's probably going to be a big one, this job title, right? And
Okay.
then Gabby, where you were asking earlier about industry. So this is what happens. If we're, can you give me an example industry, Gabby?
Global consulting.
Global consulting. So that would not be, well, global consulting, oops, wouldn't be an industry.
Management consulting, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would do it.
Okay. So you could start with management consulting at the account level. And then if you go to the individual level, there's going to be some people in here where they have chosen for their profile the wrong industry. So maybe they do you know who you would talk to at those companies? What job title?
Might be VP of product.
VP of product. So if that person chose on their profile the same exact industry, you'd be fine. But if for any reason they have chosen the wrong industry, they would be left out of the list. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I've found that there's, I was like searching within saved and I had the industry selected and then the list ran dry because we went through it all. And I was like, what happens if I remove the industry? And then I was like, holy crap, there's a lot of people in that, at least in that scenario, that had just chosen the wrong industry. They worked at the companies that I wanted to talk to, but we would have missed them if we would have only relied on here, not done account base first, which is kind of cool, huh? So once you get the individuals from here, it's a matter of how do you want to engage with the people at the companies, right? And that's kind of where I'd say, what is your unique strategy for selling to these accounts, What you could do, I'll hop over here to home. once you get to the point where you've like got your saved list built out and you know who you're wanting to talk to, really quick, I should have said this earlier. It's very helpful if you figure out who the people are that you want to talk to. I know, Judy, you're familiar with this. Save the individuals as well. So you can save accounts and you can save individuals and you can do custom lists or just your general save list. And the reason why you'd want to do that is because since a lot of the action is going to be one-on-one, let's just go here. A lot of the action that you do with an account is a one-on-one basis. You can go like this. So like, let's see, account news, like which accounts have been mentioned in the news. So if you're like stalking, can I use that word? If you're like really trying to hit all angles of a company, if they've been mentioned in the news, it'll show up here and you can go talk to the right person. Like, hey, you were mentioned in the news. Great job. What does this mean for that? Funding news, a potential lead viewed your profile. So that's going to be if somebody works at a saved account, but maybe you don't have them saved. They viewed your profile. See account decision makers. Who might those be? Senior hires at account. There probably won't be anyone in there. Yeah. Cool. So that's account stuff, leads. Maybe somebody was mentioned in the news, content that they've shared. Maybe somebody changed jobs and you don't want them saved anymore, or they changed jobs and now you, like they got hired, now you do. Changed roles at the company. They viewed your profile, engaged with your content, accepted your connection request, and then people you've recently viewed. Da-da-dum. So once you kind of get everything set up where you know the accounts, you have them saved, you know who the people are, you have them saved, you're engaging with them. Once you get to that stage, it's like you'll find yourself here often. That makes sense. And then don't just rely on this, get creative and do cool things. I'm sure like Judy has some great strategies too. But yeah, you got anything you guys want to shout out?
I have a question.
Shoot. Yep, shoot.
So a lot of who we're going after are by your groups.
Mm-hmm.
So is there a way with this tool to kind of see if people are, working on the same project? Just because someone's in the same location doesn't necessarily mean that they're in the same group, just because so many people work remotely now. Is there some way in here to sort of filter out and see who's sort of working on the same project?
No. So you're talking about like a big company has a team that's dedicated to something within the company and it's a remote team. They're all working everywhere.
You're
There's
like a product
not.
team. Okay.
There's not. So what I would do in that situation is if I would ask somebody who knows. And that's kind of the nice thing about if you're being polite and you're bringing value and you're not just giving a sales pitch, but you're asking questions, you would be shocked, Gabby, at the amount of information that people tell you that you would never get because it's not on any public record anywhere. I'll be like, so how are things going at this company? And someone will be like, we're getting bought next year. I'm not sure if my job's going to be around. And you're like,
oh my.
It's like, that's good to know. Like, so people tell you information and I guess it depends on the receptivity of the people that you're talking to. Some people are just more clammy than others, but you might be able to just ask them, find the person who would know and then ask and then follow the trail, and take notes as you go. That might be a good way to do that.
Would you advise being upfront that we're like a marketing and sales team, or should it be more subtle so that they don't think they're going to be targeted with a bunch of ads now?
I think that you want to be intentional, but not overtly salesy. If your guiding value is I'm here to be your advisor and your helper, and if there's an exchange of money that happens because of that, it's not awkward to talk about.
Sounds good.
That make sense? Yeah. So did you want to do a workshop here, Gabby, for you guys?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Where would you like to begin? Did you want to do geo, US, anything specific?
Let's do Phoenix.
All right, Phoenix, Arizona area. So we're at the account level. Is there an industry?
Management consulting.
Okay. All right. And here, let's just do this so we can kind of see what we're working with. Is there any way that we could whittle this down for you?
Probably going to be a larger company in terms of size.
Good.
So maybe looking at 501, between 501 and the highest it gets.
Okay. Hey guys, Jared just jumped on.
Hi guys.
What's going on?
I'm driving home in my car.
Oh my word, dude. Be safe. I'll try not to make you laugh too hard. Hey, in the Netherlands, do they drive on the left or right-hand side of the road? Left-hand side? He's like, don't talk to me, I'm driving. Okay. So Gabby, uh, Phoenix Management Consulting, this company headcount size, I mean, there's only 5 here, which is pretty small.
Yeah.
Do you think that it would make sense to go just in, say, Arizona?
Yeah. I mean, I think we could do, yeah. Location isn't really a big factor for
Okay.
us, but
Okay. Still 5. So they're all in Arizona anyways.
you could just do US.
All right. Okay, cool. Any, you know your market better than I do. Is there any way that can we exclude a few things here just for the sake of example? Is there a revenue, maybe a revenue that would?
We haven't really identified that yet. We're a little bit new
Okay.
to account-based sales, so we're still trying to work out what that would look like. A lot of these are companies we're going after currently or have. So this is a good list.
Mhm.
I know that we have kind of a focus on innovation groups within these companies. So maybe if innovation is something that they have job titles within, or
So that would be, we'll do that here in a minute. So this is in the account, is there any, so when we search for keywords, that's going to look within here. Is there anything that we could require or exclude that would help make this a better list for you?
maybe if there was a way to require, I mean, maybe by job title. So if they have product within their title, but no,
So
not really for company.
Okay, so if these were all good for you, so 349, that's a pretty solid list. You might dig into it and go, we need to refine this a little bit. So I would just go like this, save, and you could either save just in general, or you could create a list. So let's just do that for fun. And then you would go to leads. You would search within your saved accounts. And this is where I would say if you've only saved the accounts that you want to try and do sales with, I would actually just get rid of this. Since we've already met that anyways, I would remove this industry here. And then you said the job title would maybe include product.
Yes.
So this is Boolean. If you're not familiar with that, I would Google it. So just I'm doing the quotation mark there. Product, it's going to require that be in there. All right, so product management, product marketing. Is there a better
If they have like product owner or VP of product.
VP of products? Let's see here. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yep.
Cool. So if you're doing account based and you're working with a smaller amount, what I would do, Gabby, is think about how, like Michael here, how valuable does Michael perceive you, you know? And this is where you want to craft your own strategy. But if what you do is really desirable to these people, you could probably just go right for the conversation with this person. But if they're going to perceive you as, you know, just more white noise, what you might want to do is start connecting with people below them in the company, so that, and start engaging with the content that the company is sharing, engage with the content that Michael and his coworkers are sharing, comment and tag people that he knows. And then, if this person's really tough to get to, by the time that you send him the connection request, hopefully you have a lot of common ground, and maybe he's seen your stuff before. So then it's a lot more likely that he'll let you in the fence. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah. So again, that takes a bit of effort and time. And so that seems to make more sense when you're selling something that's expensive and when you have a smaller quantity of accounts that you're working with. So if you've saved 2,000 accounts, I mean, you can only do so much of that at a time, at least at you by yourself. You might have a team and break it up, that kind of thing. Yeah. All right. That was good. You guys want anything confusing? Any questions? We're about 45 minutes in, so I want to be respectful of everybody's time.
No, but the only thing that I still think is a challenge is, so if you want to connect with these people, and not have the nightmare of the multiple inboxes, you still have to open up their profile in the regular LinkedIn. Otherwise, you're going to have conversations happening in two boxes.
Yeah, absolutely. So Gabby, what Judy's referred to is there's two inboxes here. It's called the LinkedIn inbox, if you can see that at the top, and then Sales Nav inbox. And if you're using Sales Nav and you send a connection request from Sales Nav, the conversation is in the Sales Nav inbox. And then if they send you a connection request and you accept, and then you want there to be continuity with their connection request message, then you might use the other inbox and you have two, and you can miss stuff, and it's like, So if you're going to use Sales Nav, it's almost like there's going to be the pain point of the two inboxes, and it's more like you got to choose what do you want to stick with in the long haul, like the inbox in the normal LinkedIn or the inbox in Sales Nav. I think if let me go real quick to the notifications. I mean, Judy, I could be wrong here, but if you are prospecting and you are doing the account-based marketing, the account-based networking, it's probably less likely that the employees at that company will send you a connection request, right?
Well, it depends on how savvy they are, and if you've looked at their profile and haven't invited them. I never underestimate how people use the platform.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I think you're correct to make that assumption that most likely they wouldn't initiate the connection.
What I've done too to overcome that pain point of the dual inboxes is when somebody sends me or client a connection request, and I'm like, ooh, this is a potential sale thing. I'll accept it, and then right away I'll just send them a message in Sales Nav to continue the conversation.
In
So
sales,
then in Sales Nav, yeah.
interesting.
Yes. So like I'll accept the connect. It'll kind of do this little processing thing. I'll view the profile in LinkedIn, and I'll click view in Sales Nav, and they'll send them a message, and I'll immediately follow up to what they said if they sent the custom message. Like if they did not send a custom message, I'm pretty sure if you send the first message from Sales Nav, then they only have one thread to work with. If they sent a connection request from normal LinkedIn to you and you accept and then you reply in Sales Nav, they're going to have two threads, I believe. So that can be a little bit confusing, but yeah, I just accept it in LinkedIn. And you don't have to do this. It's just what I do. Accept it in LinkedIn, and then I reply immediately from Sales Nav just so that I can have everything together. It's not perfect because sometimes messages just slip through, but that's what I do to try and keep it all in one place. The downside, Gabby, since you don't have Sales Nav, is if you ever stop paying for Sales Nav, the inbox history goes away. Your message history goes away. So just to be aware of that. There are benefits to using both inboxes. So you got to kind of pick your poison.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
So if that history goes away, then whenever you message them again, do they still see the previous thread, or is it looking like you're just messaging them out of nowhere?
I believe that if you cancel Sales Nav and you message them from the normal inbox, it'll start a new thread with them. So I think they'd have the old thread. This is an assumption, so don't quote me on this. I think that they would have the history in a thread, but you would be starting a new one since it's like a new email thread kind of.
Okay.
Yep, good question.
Do you also
Ooh, yep.
Sales Navigator on your phone?
I do have Sales Nav on my phone.
Okay, so you're checking both.
I am. And honestly, when I'm doing sales related stuff, I'm pouring some coffee. I'm mostly on my desktop because I can do a lot more quickly. And so when I'm on my phone, it's usually, I'm usually not using the Sales Nav app unless it's an inbox. I really only use the Sales Nav app for messaging. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well,
That's just me though. Yeah. Okay, cool. You guys, any last thoughts here or questions or comments on ABM?
Isaac,
Yes.
what you also can do in Sales Navigator is add a note. And
Yes.
if you're concerned about having two threads and the other thread is also important, you can add the other thread in the note in Sales Navigator. So or make a note that you have to look at the other thread also, so you don't miss that information, so that you already know and you don't have to check every time that you are wanting to talk to this person, that you have to check and vet if there was a conversation.
That's a great point. So thanks, Jared, very much here. I'll do some stuff on the screen here. So there are two places where you can add notes. You can add note for an account, or you can add note for an individual. So like I could go like this here and say, I love these peeps. All right, it's Wednesday. Let's have some fun. You could do that, and then I could go like this, go over to the account, and then I've got a note here. I love these peeps. Cool. All right, Brad. I might make a note and say, use. I think that's what Jared was talking about right there. And then you maybe even put a link in there.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So it doesn't slip through the cracks when you're hasty.
Yeah, for sure. Like that. And that makes it really quick to kind of go back and forth. That's a good point. Oh, hey guys. Sorry, I'm going to say one thing before we wrap it up. Any, Gabby, Judy, Jerry, any final thoughts, comments on ABM stuff?
No, that was very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Real quick question, with the LinkedIn team account that you talked about, can you do like group messages in LinkedIn?
To your team?
No, like to a client. Like, could you have you and another salesperson on a message together with a potential client?
Good questions. You can do that without Team. I'm not sure I don't remember if Team has any additional features, but you would just, I'm hesitant to pull up my inbox, but there's a little, you can do this on a normal account and also on Sales Nav. You can add people to the thread. So then it becomes a group thing. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Great question.
And what you have to remember in a group thread, the messages that you have encountered each other upon, the person that is added new doesn't see the earlier messages.
Right. I believe that there's an option that you can check now that asks if you want to include previous message history.
Okay.
But yeah, if I haven't done that in a while, but I believe that at least was an option. And if it's not, yeah, be aware of that. You might have to catch them up. Yep, really good point, Jer. Talked to a guy earlier this week. He's a Microsoft reseller, and he was telling me that now that I did a chat with Microsoft yesterday about this, and I'm going to do a trial to see what the deal is. He told me that the Microsoft Sales Edition, Microsoft Dynamics Sales Edition, has a Sales Nav widget, and now you have to do it manually, but you can connect the messaging, like the inbox thread, with an individual, so that it's all in Dynamics. That's what he told me. I need to verify that, but if they have the two-way sync there, I'm gonna cry with happiness. Anyways, I'll see what I can learn there, and we'll talk about that in another hangout. All right. Well, you guys are awesome. Thanks for your time. Anything else before I wrap it up?
Nope.
All right. See y'all later. Gabby, thanks for joining us.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
See ya.